starting to record. So it's Saturday, so it's time to talk about technology with Luvabella again. So this is episode 5, and today's episode is going to be about tilt sensors.
Okay.
Right. First of all, before we start talking about... Sorry. First of all, before I start talking... Before we start... Oh God, that Furby.
Can I move him on the floor? Excuse me, Furby.
Okay. Right, so first of all, we're going to demonstrate how the tilt sensor works in Dolly the Luvabella. So when you lie her down,
Right.
she goes into sleep mode.
Okay. Yeah. She knows she's lying down.
Oh, riddle.
Okay.
And if she doesn't actually go to sleep and you pick her up, she will come out of sleep mode. Yeah, good demonstration, Dolly. Thank you.
All picked up by some sort of tilt sensor.
Yes. So, oops. Sorry about this, folks. I'm having a bit of... You can hold this. Right. So, I'm going to do one more demonstration.
What with? Or who
with Noisy down there.
Okay. Up you come.
Because...
Oops, sorry.
Oh, blimey.
Sorry, Furby.
It's a bit rough. Because this one is quite hilarious, I think, with the tilt sensor. So, if you go like this... And you can go that way. So he seems to get it in both angles, doesn't he? He can pick up
Both axes.
axes, I mean. Yeah. He picks up that, but he'll pick up spinning round
Will it?
that way, I think.
Like that?
Picks it. Yeah, see?
Like that?
Yeah, see? He's picking.
Are you sure about that?
Oh, I might be wrong. Or maybe I'm wrong.
I'm not sure. I just think it's 2 axes.
You just think it's 2 axes.
Not actually doing a proper test of that. Anyway, what's your point?
Okay. Well, my point is I was wrong. So you have to switch him off because he's so noisy.
Okay. Okay, he's off.
You always find you've got to take the batteries out to get...
Stressful, isn't it?
It is, isn't it? Okay, all right. We'll put a much milder creature on now in the background
So,
while we talk about this.
so this is a Clio RB. Does this have a tilt sensor in it?
Oh yes.
Where's the on switch? Oh, sorry. It's in a different place than the Ugop, isn't it?
It is, yes, and it's just a little button switch. Okay, so while he's booting up, Paul,
Yeah.
let's start to talk about tilt sensors. Now, so both of those robots,
Yeah.
the tilt sensor was working in one axis, rather than 2. So if we're talking about tilt sensors that work in one axis, is that different? Oh, you can't cause me to frown on
You're getting really technical for them.
Oh, sorry. I just...
Should we look at the 2 different types of tilt sensors? Actually?
You know, I think that's a good idea.
Okay, this is a demonstration of a
Batteries run out.
There are 2 types of tilt sensor categories: mechanical and electronic. Just 2 types. Yeah. So this is a demonstration of a mechanical one, which are still around in a surprising number of things. So you've got 2 wires here, yeah, like we've used before in the previous examples. If those were touched together, that would complete the circuit. If they're not, the circuit's open. and you have a tube like this and a ball bearing or a blob of mercury in the tube. So the ball bearing or the blob of mercury would be in the tube. The two contacts would be like that. And when the tube was tipped, the ball bearing or the blob of mercury would go onto the wires or the contacts and complete the circuit. So this particular one I'm holding in my hands now, which is just cardboard, wire and a ball bearing, would complete that circuit when it tips about 2 or 3 degrees off the horizontal. Then the circuit's complete. When it would tip back, the circuit would open again.
Right.
And then tip forward 2 or 3 degrees, just enough to make the ball bearing roll out and go onto the wires. So they're not normally as big as this. They're probably about a third the size of that. And most of them have little blobs of mercury nowadays. But that's a purely mechanical tilt sensor. The other tilt sensor is electronic, solid state. And those work on different principles and can usually measure incremental degrees of angle.
Okay, so can you just say that about the second kind again, Paul?
Well, if you've got an iPhone, you can probably get an app which allows you to use your iPhone as a spirit level. And that's got a solid. It's not got one of these in it. It's not got a ball bearing in a tube in your iPhone. It's got a solid state electronic sensor which is used to measure tilt.
And does that just look like a little chip?
It probably does just look like a little chip, yeah. You can get a lot of these sensors which just look like a little black tea leaf of a chip. And that's the sort of plastic they're in. And put me off then. And these devices can measure acceleration in 3 different axes, X, Y and Z, or they can measure magnetic fields.
So these are more sophisticated, obviously.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure.
He's just broken wind. We're having a discussion.
Okay,
I think that's most rude.
We've never taken any of these apart, have
Oh,
we?
you're slamming a lot of.
I just wonder how many.
Under the table.
I just wonder how many of these toys have got.
I was going to ask you that.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I would suspect they've all got solid-state electronic tilt sensors in as one working on one principle or another, and not these mechanical ones.
Why?
I think they'd just be easy to make and probably cheaper to make. And some of the toys, like the Pleo, are sensitive to degrees of tilt, how much tilt are they, not just whether they're horizontal or not horizontal.
Yeah.
But they react differently depending on how much they're being tipped. So it's measuring degrees of tilt rather than just going past a critical point, say like 3 degrees or 40 degrees, and it being off or on.
That's interesting. I mean, this toy's 2006, so you're going back 11 years ago, but you think they were still using the chip-type electronic tilt sensor?
My feeling is that they are, yeah, that they were at that time, but I don't know for sure, and I would really like to take one apart one day, one that's no longer living, and just see if we can find a mechanical or electronic solid-state tilt sensor. I suppose maybe a quick search on the internet might deliver the same results, but I don't know.
We might have a little look into that this week and give some feedback on that next time. So the chip type setup. That's in
the solid state electronic tilt sensor. Yeah.
How does that pick? I find it difficult to follow you. When I say follow you, I mean. Follow this sort of thing, because like, my brain's not geared up.
What's the principle of operation?
Yeah.
Frankly, I must admit, I don't know.
Right.
I know there are a few principles of operation, which to start describing them would get technical, and I only half know how they work anyway. But they'll give a signal out. That is proportional to tilt.
Right.
So that again it can go to a microcontroller, and the microcontroller can be aware of the degree of tilt. Is it 4 degrees? Is it 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10?
Oh,
and so it could take appropriate action at different degrees of tilt. Like the dolls can go to sleep if they're completely horizontal, or maybe if they're just only leaning back. So it's at 45 degrees tilt. It could have some different type of behaviour.
Right. So I see. So it allows for more interesting programming.
The solid state electronic ones, yeah,
Yeah.
they would allow for more interesting types of programming rather than these mechanical type, which are basically just on off
Yes.
at some certain tipping point, and they preset to operate at a certain angle. You know, because a lot of machines have that work when they fall over, it turns the machine off. So they preset to operate from, say, I don't know, 45 degrees or something like that.
So this week has been very short. Oh, there's just one more question before I finish.
Yeah.
You know, you demonstrate the mechanical tilt sensor.
Yeah. You could actually make one of these.
What would that be used in now if it's not used in sort of robotic toys? What would it be used in?
Well, as I said, there's still a surprising amount of them available in all different shapes and sizes, and I think you'd have them in industrial machines in case some of them fell over.
Right, so safety measure.
Yeah, maybe in some electronic consumer goods, maybe heaters. Yeah, so if the heater falls over, it doesn't start fire on the carpet. I can't say I've ever taken apart that many devices that have tilt sensors in them. It's mainly toys. I don't know.
Just little Doralise. Hi.
Does she have a tilt sensor?
She has,
Dorothy?
yeah.
So what does she do when you tilt her?
No, I'm not sure if she does actually go to sleep like Luvabella if you lie her down. She certainly wakes up if you lie her upwards.
Oh, so if she's asleep and she's lying down, if you tilt her upwards, she wakes up. Is that right?
Yeah, but I've never, because I only got her yesterday, so.
She seems to be hiding her face at the moment.
I only got it yesterday, so I'm not actually.
No.
What are you saying?
I thought her eyes are open, but
But they just,
her eyes are just pure mechanical, aren't they?
Yeah.
See, that's like a sort of tilt sensor, isn't it? Yeah, that's like a mechanical tilt sensor.
Right.
It just struck me. Come on, Dora, uncover your face so we can see your eyes. So
She's sleepy.
When her eyes are, when she's lying down, her eyes tilt mechanism are closed, and when you pick her up at a certain angle, was it 45 degrees,
Yeah.
50 degrees, they open. So that's like a mechanical.
That
tilt
would be
sensor.
a mechanical
Yeah.
one, yeah.
You could make your own mechanical.
Oh, well
tilt sensor.
done.
Well done, Dora. She's
Yeah.
helped out.
Yeah, she's chuffed with herself. She actually finds it funny that she actually finds it really funny that she's contributed to this discussion.
Good.
Okay, so next week is going to be about the big one.
What's that?
Microcontrollers.
Ah, right. Good stuff. Yeah.
Yes, the big one, the really interesting
Yeah,
one.
that's what makes toys interesting nowadays. Microcontrollers.
Well, it makes them into a little robot, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You know, you couldn't have a robot without that, really,
Nope.
could you?
No.
Okay, so see you next Saturday. Bye-bye.
Bye.